This is Justin Amazon on Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. Looking at a bullish retest gap. So we're gapping up from yesterday. We've already started a little bit of what looks like an S curve here. It'd be great if it just continues on up. It's really interesting. We're contending with the 1944 price again, which I don't have a line at, but if you go back a couple videos, we were interacting with this level on Friday, and I think it was Thursday. May not have been, I'm not sure now. But it's a key value in our key level in my mind, 1944, where we just kind of chopped around and saw that as resistance, support. We could do that again today, and then pull back to the 1925, then rally. Really, it's such a strong day yesterday. I sort of anticipate a bit of a pause today. Build up some more sideways pressure and then continue on up. So let's get into the day and see what happens. Oh, thought I was there. All right, there we go. High wave opening candle. I don't even see where the body's at. I think it's way down here somewhere. Yeah, so the open and the close were 16 cents apart from each other. So pretty much calm compared to yesterday, where we had that massive candle. But somewhat indecisive. It's like, okay, it could go higher right now, could go lower right now. Just gonna hang out in here. And this is really good for just pausing at this level, letting some momentum build up, and then see what happens. All right, so there's a slight bullish breakout. Slight because it's a big candle, but it didn't really get that much higher. And for a bullish retest, I do actually want to see a little bit of bearishness come in. There's some. Okay, good. We're getting it. There we go. That's a nice little rest. Let's see if that can pop higher. It does. Somebody could be in, or maybe you're waiting for break above the high of the day, or maybe you're buying off these lows down here and you're already up an R or something like that. These candles are still pretty big, and for a little while they just kind of chop around a little bit. We've got a nice support down here at 1941, and we've got a nice resistance up in here. Some of these candle highs here around 1950. So we're still just jumping around this 1944 price. Come back down again. Oh, we've come down to 1940. Have kind of the only touch down here yet. I mean, almost got there. 1940 and 38 cents. We actually passed below it here. This could mean that we're going to break down a little bit further. 1925, we've got a squeeze forming. Now this is what I really like. So really small candles here. Bit of lower highs, kind of lower lows too. So, it'd be really tough to set this up, bullish with an entry here, a stop down here, or conservative would be a stop way down here, but that's still a really wide range. So, let's continue on the day. All right, here we go. We got a really nice consolidation, just sideways, stair step for half an hour. Okay, this is where I want to set up, break above 1593 and a stop down here around 1945, something like that. It's still a wide range, but with the kind of move it had yesterday, it could totally continue to do that today. The squeeze is still forming and just been sideways. There we go. Now we're finally getting a bit of a breakout here. Now you could have been wicked out of this candle, but if you waited for a close, you're able to watch it. Let's see, did we actually get a close up in here somewhere? No, we don't get a close above 1953, just some wicks, which actually just adds to this consolidation, this sideways movement. So this is the first place we're kind of breaking out. The squeeze actually did fire, but it just didn't really go yet. So our next pivot is this level, 1957.50, right up here. Could take a little bit off there, or just get ready to kind of tighten up your stop. We almost get there, I think, in these candles. Almost get there, and then it starts to pull back a little bit. All this is a great move. You expand this S curve to look at this whole thing. Here's your S curve. Here's a mini S curve. It should continue on up. We're just bouncing off the moving averages. There we go, bouncing up, consolidated on it, kind of timidly going higher. And had you been in yesterday, you should have been holding through all this. Then we just start to break out. And we rally all the way up to our 1972.50 price, actually get above it at the close. So now if we, so one thing I wanted to point out is I was trading this some yesterday, and I was exiting some here at the close, was resetting up an order to just hold on to the rest, and had a stop. I think it was down in this range, or maybe a little, or somewhere way down here. Thinking, okay, well, it could pull back there, but I'm kind of looking for this to continue. And I already peeled off a bunch of profit on it, so this was virtually, but I set up the order wrong. And it exited me right there. So it was virtual, and it didn't matter. But I just kind of laughed seeing today that it came right back down to the same price, right about where I had exited on the option yesterday. I could have bought back about that same price today with these candles, but had I just held on to it, I may have been moving my stop up. Probably would have been stopped out here, and then seen that run. Had I left the stop alone further down, it didn't touch it. And then my target, I think in the options, my target was around this level here. So let's take a look at what that was. I was in the 1950 call. I gotten in somewhere down in here. And I think it was kind of the setup we were talking about yesterday. And then I was changing up the orders and exited, I think it was like 1375. And then I was setting a new order with a stop down at like, I think I want to say 1150 or 11, something like that. And I set up, instead of a stop, I set up a limit with a order cancels order to get out at 20, which would have actually, I guess that would have filled right at the opening 5 minute, not right at the opening 5 minute as it rallied up here. And that would have been, I think it was getting in down here around 7 or 8 or something. So 8 up to 20. Had I had the whole position, which I had already been scaling out of it as it went up, had I had the whole position, that would have been 12R right there, just that kind of quick swing with that $100 risk. So you could have bought, I think it was 8 by 7 and then just tighten the stop up. But I was exiting out some and just, playing around with it virtually as it made a big move with this. But you can see how strong yesterday was on the 5 minute, and this just kind of grinded higher. And part of that is because it was so far out of the money. And then today it opens just out of the money and then gets into it and just continues on, just roaring higher. So this move down here today doesn't quite get to the same price on the 5 minute, but it did get there on the option. And it would have been really hard to have that set up to get in there unless you were somebody buying or selling this and then looking for a place to buy it again and that happening. But more likely you would have been looking for another level, like maybe 1250 for it to come down and retest, this level for what was a resistance, see if it's new support, something like that. But what's really interesting is this was a slow mover today, and there was a lot of opportunities to just get in. Even this kind of breakout, pullback, could have gotten in here. If those options are getting too spready, you can go out another 25 strikes at 1975. And I just picked that because it's, with the price that Amazon's trading, it's sometimes just good to skip by 25. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get this to zoom. There we go. So this is just this chopping, going sideways, or it's way out of the money, breakout, retest. Could have been getting in here like 8 by 7, similar setup to the one, the 1950 strike yesterday. Could have worked for the 1975 strike today for the call, 8 by 7, and then possibly again here 8 by 7. That could have worked, and then that just rallied. I mean, had you held on 8 by 7, you could have gotten out. For 8, 9R, something like that. Had you scaled some out, you could have been taking some out at the high here, gotten out, had you held on from 8 up to 14. maybe you got out at 13 because some bearish was coming in, it wicked down. Oh, I'm gonna panic sell and get out at 13. That could have worked, still would have been 5R. Um, and then any of these places where you have these lower wicks could have been a place to just get in a little bit more. Do a forgot the name of it, where you move the stop, you buy more and move the stop up, add to the position, something like that. Anyway, it's getting late, and I'm not thinking clearly on what the terms are. Add and reduce. It's just going to be add and reduce, that kind of strategy. But anyway, if you just hold it through this kind of move, just let it grind on up to the next level. These levels have been working out pretty well. Today we opened up right in the middle, and as we should have, we just chopped around in the middle until we really consolidated nicely, got that squeeze forming, and then breaking out. So let's say you got in on that squeeze. So at 1050, you're getting in because let's say 1055. The squeeze triggered bullish. You're getting in at 1055 on the call. 1055 is not on here. Okay. Let's say you got in at, let's say you got in at 8 and the stop was $100 away at 7. That would have worked. Would have been a little worried here as it pulled back. Maybe here as well. Maybe you would have taken your stop up to 750. And then just let it run. Let it just continue on out. So, sorry, I got distracted there because I just killed a mosquito on my forehead. Not sure how it got in the house. But anyway, back to the video. This is a nice bullish retest gap. Got back above the 21 exponential and has small retest, but then just rallied all day. The high and the close are pretty close, but they're still a little bit away from each other, about $1.50 away from each other. It'd be great to see a bit of a pullback into this range. I don't think it would come back down to 1944. I really like this close above these two bearish bookend candles here. This is like a rest after battle, with bullish, bearish, bullish candle in between. And then this sell-off, people thinking, oh, it's continuing lower. And here we are already, the very next day, we've taken out those highs, these wicks as well. I would, I guess, speculate that we could come back down to these highs, this low, somewhere in there around 1955, 1960. That'd be a good place to pull back to and then rally from there. If we just go ahead and rally and take out some more of these bearish candles, it would be trapping more people, but it doesn't seem like it's got the right setup to just rally so hard. We haven't seen it happen with so much. Well, I'm like looking at this, seeing a couple bearish candles like that, a couple more bearish candles in here, and then we did just rally on out of that. So it's entirely possible. We just rally on up, make a new all-time high, get up to like 2100, and then we do it again. We just kind of grind lower a little bit, pause, come back into a moving average, and then bounce. So it's entirely possible. I believe this wick gets into the 15 exponential moving average that I don't have on here. This one I know just missed it. This one actually got into it. So people were buying here off of the 50 exponential. Longer term buyers, even some short term ones knowing the levels. But anyway, it looks really good to continue on bullish. It'd be great to have some sideways action, indecision, come back into these highs here and then bounce. If you have an opportunity to buy at 1925, that's another good place because that would be another retest of this level that was support here, broke down again, and then it's just kind of bouncing. So this is a really nice, really wide accumulation, and now it looks like we're gonna go and have some public participation and continue on up. So I'd really like to see this bearish momentum switch bullish, and that's kind of where I've got some hesitation that we've got a high, a lower high, a lower high, These are, and then a low, a lower low, and a lower low. So a couple things in a row looking like this is a really big flag on a bigger time frame. But we may not be ready to go, full on bullish right now, just because we've got so much of this momentum that had shifted bearish. It's today was its first day to pause, start to lose a little bit of that bearishness, but it's definitely not moving bearish. Yesterday it looked like it was. Today it looks like it's not moving bearish, obviously. So we'll have to revisit that whole picture and see, has that sort of thing happened already? Is there a good way to play this? What are we waiting for? What percentage pullback? What are the levels? Obviously not these levels here, but if it's happened, something like that in the past, it's a good point to kind of reevaluate where things are at and how it can move. So continue to be bullish, look for a pullback. I mean, if we pull back into the highs here, yeah, that's right in there, 1955 to 1960. That's this range up here. So that's some of the highs from today. It'd be a great place for us to S-curve back down to and then rally. And for right now, it's above the 1972.50 price. It could continue up like this, go to S-curve and bounce just today. So really have to be patient for those smaller candles and know the levels that you want to get in at. So hope you enjoy this video. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.